did, fixing up houses. Anything that was fixed up over there, we didn't hire it done. We did it.
Did he always have his nose in the book?
Attic up there. He bought the boards. He put them in all by himself. Then at that time, I stained them all and then sand sealed them all when I was pregnant with Sandy. Yeah. So anyhow, we always did things together and always worked together, and he always prided himself in knowing how to, do things, whether it's fixing a car or fixing a house or whatever.
A person.
He wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And usually could. The only thing he didn't do is some of the things like the furnace work sometimes. Electric wiring, yeah. He would. My dad was an electrical engineer, so he taught him a lot of things way back when we were first married. Well, Bob never forgot it, and so if he had to run another line somewhere, he did it. He didn't call and ask anybody if he could. I thought, thank heavens, nothing has, happened yet.
So far, so good.
Yeah. And plumbing, he ended up doing a lot of plumbing, but the only thing he didn't really mess with was furnaces. But
yeah, there's a little bit of, it can be scary if you don't know what you're doing, probably.
His what?
Are furnaces kind of dangerous, if you don't, are they?
Yeah, furnaces they've got their own challenges. So, but that's not, so whenever there was something new that would come up, would he just go grab a book to learn about it, or just figure it out as he would go?
I never saw him looking at it in books. I don't know where he learned things. Maybe watching other people do it.
Yeah, just talking to people.
Yeah, and the same, like the wiring. My dad, would show him what to do and this and that, and Bob never forgot it.
Yeah. Nice.
But he's just, and building things, good grief. When we lived in Omaha, his tools consisted of a handsaw, a rasp for sanding things, those rasps, those metal things. That's what he used. He didn't even, finally my dad gave him a plane that it has been his. That helped, so. But there we fixed that house with hardly any tools. He had a hammer, and eventually we got one of those, not crowbars, but
pry bar.
Yeah.
I've heard he was notorious for saving old screws and nails.
Yeah, I didn't really like that.
Yeah.
Because they can always be straightened out.
Yeah.
Yeah, use them for something.
Yeah, we had drawers over there. Well, those weren't old nails in the drawers. An old thing, they had a million little drawers in it. And so it was kind of handy. You needed a nail, you went down and you looked until you found, like me, you find the size I want and I take it. I don't know whether they've thrown them out or what, but I thought it was handy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyhow, it was great. It was a challenge.
Well, what kind of advice do you have for? It seems like you guys never really faced a challenge that you were just like, how are we going to do this? It was more, how are we going to do this in a more hopeful way? So what what's the secret?
I don't know,
to that?
but anyhow, like some of our vacations, we always had our station wagon and take the kids and away we'd go. But then there was the president of Doane College, Phil Heckman, and a minister, Bob Connor. Bob Connor had a brother up in Minnesota, and they had some sort of a place, a house or a cabin up there too. But anyhow, the brother asked Bob, would you like to bring a couple people up and we'll rent a sailboat? Well, none of the other three knew how to sail. The brother that asked them had sailed, but these are, big things you can sleep in and everything. So anyhow, Bob's, sure, that sounds like fun. So he and the minister and the Phil Hickman went up there for a week, I think it was, or 10 days, and they learned how to sail. Bob came home and gosh, he was so enthused. We've got to do this. He was going to call up and make, figure out when he could go back, get off work. And we would go back as a family and learn how to sail.
Mm.
So we took lessons out there and would, charter the boat and hire somebody to teach the rest of us. And it was a lot of fun.
Had a lot of adventures. Always an adventure.
What?
Sounds like it was always an adventure.
Yeah, well, you were with us on one. You were a baby.
Yeah, I was.
And you had the leash on so that you wouldn't, accidentally
Fall.
fall and go over the edge.
Yeah.
And a leash and some sort of something Sherry had to, hook it to. And we would go out on the, around the front and so on and sit and it was usually Lori and Sandy was young, and sometimes Susie or your mother. The time I'm thinking about it was your mother, and we would have a lot of fun out there. And the worst thing though was when we decided we needed exercise. All we do is eat and sit and eat and sit. So we were sitting out there in front of the boat, which was, shaped like that. We butt walked all around the head. We start here, we go over there in a row. We were butt walking. Well, it didn't hurt then, but the next day, my Lord, I thought I'd never move again. I've never butt walked since.
Never.
Oh,
Never.
I can imagine that being painful. Yeah.
But anyhow, you were there with us then, I remember.
I wish I remember. I wish I could remember
You were
it.
just a little thing. I think you could walk, though.
I think so. I think I was like,
It was
18
usually,
months.
It seems like we usually went in August.
yeah. Yeah, so it was probably a year and a half or something, maybe.
I don't know whether you're that old or not. Anyhow, you went with us once.
Mm-hmm. Yay. What's been your favorite vacation?
What?
What's been your favorite vacation?
Oh. And it wasn't Bob's. The time we rented a houseboat down the Ozarks. I thought that was more fun. And we brought our other boat along and towed it so that if we wanted to, stop somewhere and water ski or whatever, we could.
Yeah.
He thought that was the most boring thing, but I thought it was more fun.
Yeah. You're a
You sit
lake.
there, you just
lake girl.
like a living room, and
Yeah.
and then if you wanted to go outside, you went outside, and if you wanted to dive over and go swimming, you could. If you wanted to do the boat, and then at night we'd tie up to a stick up a tree in the water, and that's just the way they did it.
Yeah.
But I loved that. I liked Hawaii too,
Yeah.
and I liked some of our ski vacations very well.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I liked all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought that houseboat, and that's the only time we ever went on a houseboat.
Mm.
I thought that was neat. There's a bedroom there, and then you could also sleep up on the top part if it wasn't raining.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Outside,
Sandy.
out on the water.
Huh?
Outside, out on the water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sandy, one of her friends had moved down to